Well, look, I mean, predicting football is a lot more complicated than, say, predicting the long-term future of the universe, which is why I spend my time trying to predict the long-term future of the universe. It's much
You
simpler.
took the easy route.
I take the easy stuff. I tell people that's why I didn't do biology. Physics is so much easier. Uh, but and correlation isn't causation. But what people don't realize is that when it comes to, say, climate science, and that's why I wrote a book called The Physics of Climate Change, it's fundamental physics. So it's not something exotic or even forefront science, at least at its basis. It's fundamental
Yeah.
thermodynamics, and has been tested over and over again for 150 years. So if there was just a correlation, say, between CO2 and temperature, or sea level, I would be dubious. But the point is, when there's a fundamental physical explanation, which there isn't in football, as far as I know, at least when it comes to human behavior, it's too complicated. But when it comes to the fundamental understanding of the fact that energy in equals energy out means things don't change, more
Hmm.
energy in than more energy out means things heat up, more energy out than energy in means things cool down. That's pretty basic stuff. And when you can actually measure the excess energy that's coming in compared to what's going out, which we can do, and then plug it in some fundamental equations in physics, which have been around for over 100 years. The fact that hot bodies radiate as the fourth power of temperature, for example,
Yeah.
and make predictions that agree with observations, then I think it's fair to say that's has a very good basis in science. Now, there are details that are incredibly complicated that require computer models to know about ocean currents and other things. But knowing, for example, that about between 1 and 2.5 watts per square meter of excess heat is being stored in the earth due to the presence of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, that's just fundamental science. The fact that if you make a global prediction of what that would do to the rough temperature of the earth, that would go up by about a degree to a degree and a half over the last 60 years, which is in agreement with what we observe, tells you that, okay, I think that's pretty soundly based. The fact that water expands when it gets hotter is something that you learned in high school, probably. And the fact that we can ask how much heat we have dumped in the Earth's oceans over the last 40 years, and we can say, independent of glacier melting or any of that stuff, that just simply the heat dumped in the oceans when it thermalizes will cause the oceans to rise about a quarter of a meter over the next 20 to 30 years minimum. That's fundamental stuff, and I think that's unimpeachable. If you want to call it settled, you can call it that. But so they're fine. There are other details. There are worries about Greenland and worries about ocean currents, that may affect Europe, and droughts here and there, and all of that are more refined questions. But fundamental science tells us that that the Earth is heating up due to the presence of increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. I think that's pretty well unimpeachable. The fact that ocean levels will rise at some level, as I say, somewhere between a quarter of a meter and a meter this century, is also unimpeachable. And that alone tells us we should at least think about how to address the issue, even if it's adaptive, to ameliorate conditions of the 700 or 800 million people who live less than 1 meter above sea level.
If you like this video, check out the full interview. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thanks for watching.